What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly late reverse rants, no hate. Take a listen.
So after Saturday night, we were all very intrigued to hear what Deontay Wilder had to say after taking defeat for the very first time in his professional career. He has done an interview now with Lance Pugmire. Full story coming on Athletic Box shortly. He tweeted, "This Deontay Wilder tells me he's definitely exercising his rematch clause for a summer trilogy against Tyson Fury. That his legs were weakened by his 45-pound costume he wore to the ring to honor Black History Month." Wilder also said, "If I say I'm going in there to try kill a man, I accept that in return. He will have to kill me as well." Wilder acknowledges the considerations for his 8 children and fighting future, but says, "We've talked about this for years and years." Wilder also had harsh words for referee Kenny Bayless. Allegedly, Bayless declined to effectively control Fury over a slew of punches to the back of Wilder's head and neck after telling Wilder he would disqualify him if he did the same in pre-fight dressing room. Also told by Bronze Bomber that he's re-evaluating retaining assistant trainer Mark Breland because his team knew, "I'd rather die in the ring than have a towel thrown in. I'm a warrior." And that full story is coming to Athletic Box shortly. Very interesting topics. We've gone from him obviously saying that he will exercise the rematch straight away, how he's disappointed with the towel being thrown in, and how he's looking to, replace his assistant trainer, how he had some harsh words for the referee. So a lot being said there by Deontay Wilder. What are your thoughts on the costume situation? Do you think it was a bad idea for him to come into the ring with the costume, and do you think it genuinely affected him? And also, do you think the referee was wrong for not taking action against Tyson Fury during the fight? Let's know about all your thoughts down in the comment section below.
All right. Notice the name, Lance Pugmire, which is the guy that Blue Blood did his video on and said that he misconstrued, not just him, everybody. People misconstrue everything that every time Wilder says something. Deontay Wilder said that, okay, clearly in the ring after the fight. No one misconstrued anything. Here's the funny thing, okay? This video, of course, isn't new, okay? But I thought this was interesting because Lance Pugmire has been painted as like an enemy, like he has harsh things to say about Deontay Wilder, right? Lance Pugmire, okay, is skilled in the medical field, so I don't know exactly what his honors are, but look, if the man is qualified to do diagnosis for certain things or whatever, he could be wrong and he could be right. So again, to revisit that part of it, who's to say Deontay Wilder wasn't, going through depression when this thing first happened? Does he seem depressed now? No. We all have something that happened. It could be a relative died. You could be in a financial debt. Someone in your family could be sick, injured. Something abnormal. Things happen. People lose their jobs. Depression is not something that happens and it lasts for a certain amount of days or hours and it goes away. No, it's up to it depends on the individual, how you type of actions you take, things you do to defeat that depression. So I basically am going to at some point pause this and I'm going to go to what Lance Pugmire just said recently, which wasn't even a video. It was basically a tweet, if I can find it. So I'll pause this in a second, but if I don't find it, then I'll let you know, okay, well, I didn't find it, and then I'll continue. But the other thing is, okay, this is Deontay Wilder. Now remember, mind you, remember how Blue Blood said he didn't reach out and talk to Deontay to know any of this stuff, to know his mindset or, what he's changed. But Blue Blood also never said that Deontay ever spoke to Lance Pugmire. He made it sound as if like, basically he just came out and said things about him, period. We don't know what kind of conversation they had, his state of mind at that point. It's just like if I sat here and said, "What the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all talking all this, whatever," and then say, "No, I wasn't mad." I don't have to say it. You're gonna know, like, yo, dude was mad. Sometimes, we talk a little intense and people might think but I mean, that's completely different from just talking with a lot of intensity. So if somebody like we don't know what the conversation was like. George Foreman, for example, spoke to Deontay Wilder, and George Foreman said Deontay Wilder is very emotional. But did we need George to tell us that to understand that? We couldn't see that. And look, we've always seen Deontay's always emotional. People have even called him feminine-like because he's always talking about how his feelings was hurt when the deal didn't go through with Joshua and how this and that, and they playing by emotions. And so we don't know what the conversation was like. Think about it. We only know what what was said in the interview. You see a lot of times a guy walking, coming from a fight or going or training or something, and somebody will be there interviewing the guy, and then the guy goes on, right? What do you think on the fight about the fight, or what's going to happen? Are you going to fight this guy? Whatever. They give a few words and go. A whole lot of times, you got to understand these guys set these interviews up. I'm going to come down to your gym. We'll do the interview. You don't know what they talk about off camera. So I don't know. I didn't. Like I said, I didn't see the tweet yet, but I'm going to go look for it. Here's the thing. Blue Blood made it sound as if people are just saying things and assuming false things about Wilder. Like we're just like people are just trying to find some fault or something to take a stab at. But that's what they always do to everybody else. But from what I've seen, because it was up on the screen what he said on somebody else's page, a channel or whatever, and it was, but I don't know if that's just the full tweet or what, or that was just some of it. But for someone to say he's going through stages of depression, I can tell. And like I said before, maybe, the shooting go good. Look, I know people who suffer from depression as well. Okay? And one of the things that psychologists will tell people, go do things that you enjoy, things that make you happy, things that make you feel good, to take you away from the things that are depressing you. You understand? So maybe going to the shooting range, maybe the scuba diving or whatever, riding his bike. Maybe those are things that's fun, that you're not focused on boxing or even thinking about boxing. Stay away from boxing. Don't even think about boxing. Take time, let your body heal. How can we say that? We don't even know. Maybe Deontay Wilder could have seen a psychiatrist for all we know. Or he could have just, we don't know this. Do you know every time the man wipe his ass, every time the man eats a meal? Do you know every time he hugs his child or he tells his wife he loves her? I mean, do you know this? Like, people act like this, so like everything, because I'm cool with Deontay. Like, no, that doesn't mean you know everything that the man does. He might have only told you what he want you to know on top of that. So we can sit here and play what ifs, but the whole point is, if he did go through depression, okay, as long as he's okay, he's getting better, he gets through that, he's 100%. When it comes time to fight, and then for his day-to-day normal life, more importantly, that's what matters. So let's say if he did go do a depression, okay, is that the end of the world for him? Is that somebody attacking his character? Because now Lance Pugmire could be 100% wrong. Like I said before, I don't know if he's right or if he's wrong. But he spoke to Lance Pugmire about this situation. And the guy from this particular channel, which is Behind the Gloves, is basically telling you what was said, what he said to Lance Pugmire. Here's the thing. Deontay Wilder just recently spoke out to say something about, I believe in glass to Dillian White. He, always was speaking about Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. He always had something to say about everybody. Why is it that the things that you guys are trying to protect him from, act as like you're his guardians, like everybody's attacking him? Why does he never say that these people are lying? Did you ever hear him come out and say, matter of fact, if he did that, for him to do that interview, you don't think he would have came at Lance Pugmire and said, listen, man, I did an interview with you, and you're going to take my words and twist them or make lies up about what I said? You don't think he would have addressed that or said something? Now, see, again, another boxing channel taking something that they saw and taking it to a different level. So even if, and like I said, when I saw Deontay at the range and chilling, smiling, bomb squad, I'm like, nah, he doesn't seem like a guy that's depressed or going through something. Like I said, it's these channels that make Deontay seem like he's laying up in a body cast somewhere miserable. They're the ones who make it sound like that. Now, him saying, Lance Pugmire saying that he was going through a depression, you know, that's not, I mean, I don't see that as him trying to assassinate his character or something. And like I said, he could be wrong, but he could be right. But what does it really matter? As long as Deontay gets healthy, mentally and physically. That's what matters. So I don't even see what the big deal was. My thing is just the way Blue Blood twisted the words around, well, the narrative around, rather. Like every time Deontay say, Deontay ain't saying a goddamn thing. It's all you guys, like I said before. So now, let me see if I can find this tweet. I'm going to read it to y'all if I can. I even put it up in front of the screen. Pause. Okay, y'all. Basically, the tweet that I see, I went on Twitter to see if I could find the actual conversation. Okay. Barbershop Conversations actually put the tweet up on their page. I just screenshotted it because it's at the very beginning and then he goes into the video. I don't want to sit and listen to the video. That's not what it's about. Basically, okay, check that out. I don't know if y'all can see that. That's Lance Pugmire's tweet. Okay? So y'all can read that and see it for yourself what it says. Then I'm going to read it because I don't know how clear that is to y'all. Okay, Lance Pugmire, full story coming to the Athletic Box shortly. Deontay Wilder tells me he's definitely exercising his rematch clause for a summer trilogy against Tyson Fury. That his legs were weakened by his 45-pound costume he wore to the ring to honor Black History Month. He said that in the ring. So I don't know what Blue Blood is talking about because Deontay said that. Okay. So basically, Blue Blood is completely wrong for saying that he twisted his, the people are twisting his words. No, he said that. He said that. The only things that we're questioning, like I said, in previous videos, is the information that you guys are coming up, all this so-called proof and evidence you're talking about. But basically, the Athletic Box. I'm going to go and see if I can pull anything up on that. Pause. All right. That's a no-go. Listen, if you go in and put the search in about Deontay Wilder's costume being too heavy for his legs or whatever, it's like about 100 freaking videos where people talking and speaking on that. A lot of people actually have the clip from him saying it right after the fight. And I'm going down, and so we all know he said it. All you gotta do is watch the Tyson Fury fight. Just watch the end. He said it, okay? I want y'all to listen to this. And there's several different stories, channels covering the same stories. Listen to this.
Hello. This is fascinating. I've heard of people damaging their cartilage walking with ankle weights, poor posture resulting from years of wearing a 10-pound or more school bag, but losing the biggest heavyweight fight of our era from a costume that was too heavy. That's definitely something you never hear about. The first thing we all viscerally feel is, why is this man making excuses? But, I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I want to be able to always entertain their side of the story, even if I do not fully accept it. That said, let's hear Deontay Wilder out. He did not hurt me at all, but the simple fact is that my uniform was too heavy for me. Wilder said, speaking to Yahoo Sports, I didn't have no legs from the beginning of the fight. Now, to me, Tyson Fury did look like a far superior boxer who, in their first bout, had a significant skill.
Pause. Okay. That's all I'm focused on. I'm not caring about the breakdown of the fight and how many jabs landed, who landed body shot. I don't care about that. You heard what he just said. I've heard Wilder say this with my own two ears. So is it that, everybody heard it. Okay? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who want to forget that they heard it, but we all heard it. Here's the thing. He said after the fight, I had leg complications coming into the ring, but no excuses. Talked about his vest being too heavy and it weakened his leg. Now, that's exactly what he said. Did Blue Blood or did Blue Blood not say that people misconstrue what he said? That's the furthest thing from the truth, that he didn't say the reason he lost that fight was because of his costume. He said he had no legs and that the costume was too heavy for him. He said that. What do you mean people are misconstruing? That's what he said, man. It's as simple as that. He said it. Everybody heard him. Everybody heard him. Everybody who covered that story, whether it was Stephen A., Max Kellerman, whether it was Skip Bayless, whether it was Shannon Sharp or whoever, everybody spoke on that. Everybody at the Mayweather gym spoke on it. People clowned him and laughed at it. Some people just, whatever. Like, I mean, come on, man. Michael Morris spoke on it. Mike Tyson spoke on it. And what's so funny is, how people love to praise the Mike Tysons of the world, the Michael Morris of the world. He gets his credit too at times. And, it's so funny how when they say something that you don't like about your homeboy, you don't mention those things, but you quick to say stuff like, oh, even Evander Holyfield said that Tyson Fury was on something, or, if another fighter says it about a fighter y'all don't care about, then it's true because they said it. Look, I don't need anybody. I don't give a shit what Holyfield says. I don't give a fuck what Mike Tyson said or what whoever said. Regardless, we have the common sense to know what we hear, right? We all heard Deontay Wilder say that. So my thing too is like, what's so weird to me is how people it's like your brains is like clay. Somebody can take your brains and take it and mash it and mold it into what they want and tell you something is or isn't. And you guys sit there and go, yeah, it's true. We all heard him say that. So I don't even understand why the rest of the nonsense that they spew out that you guys even get caught up into and listen to, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's not about his word against somebody else's word. Let me ask y'all a question. Have you ever wondered why the videos of Deontay Wilder getting dropped in his earlier fights are no longer on YouTube? You ever wonder why they took those videos down? Like how people say the photographer took his pictures down because Team Fury threatened him. The photographer was the farmer was paid off and then threatened by Fury. Where would this information even come from, right? But you notice how they make those comments and they always want to try to explore something. They want to try to investigate. Why nobody ever say, wait a minute, fan or not, why are those videos not up? Because even the guys who I wanted to win fights, I study watching them lose the same way I watched them win to see what went wrong, what they should have did different, or how, what actually happened, what was wrong with their strategy, stuff like that. Or it's just one of those things where, hey, they're going at it, guy just got caught. Shit, it's boxing, right? There's someone on here. I think I know where to find that video at again. The guy's narrating about Wilder's career. And he's showing you different footage of Wilder getting dropped in different fights. And I've seen those. I've been watching Wilder since the amateurs, man. It's not like I didn't know who he was until after. He never had a really big buzz until after once he got his buzz, put it like that. I knew him before his buzz. I knew him as a fighter before his buzz, put it like that. That's what I'm saying. Okay. But imagine us sitting here making up excuses, just making up things going, the reason they took those down is because she blah, 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 and this and that, and that's the reason. Wouldn't you all say, how do you know that? That would be logical question. That's a question I can understand. That would be a reasonable question right there. So, okay. How do people know so much about everything else that they don't even do research on? They just hear somebody say something. Everybody, every channel that has anything that Deontay Wilder said regarding the costume, it's the same thing. They're reading the same articles or posting the same videos on their channels that each other channel that the other channel was posting to get the news out about what Wilder said. Now, all of a sudden, you never heard all this before, right? How everybody's misconstruing what he says. You ever notice this? My thing is, every other fighter has a million things wrong with them, but Deontay Wilder can do no wrong in certain people's eyes. And this is not about him so much doing wrong or whatever. That's not the focus of what this is. What we're saying is, when he does something or says something, you have people that act like his fucking guardians, like that's their little child. You can't say that about my child. Deontay Wilder clearly made those comments. So, according to Blue Blood, he made it sound like Lance Pugmire was attacking Wilder, and he made it sound like, he's just making up shit. Come to find out, Deontay Wilder did an interview with Lance Pugmire. Did you hear Blue Blood point that out? One time. Did you hear one time him point out, hey man, he did an interview with Lance Pugmire, and Lance Pugmire said blase blah. He didn't even talk about this particular interview. Maybe Blue Blood wasn't even aware that Lance Pugmire did this video. Maybe he was. I don't know. But he talked about him saying he diagnosed him with depression. But again, you don't know what they talked about off camera. You don't know. And Deontay did an interview with Lance Pugmire. So again, someone who you make seem like is an enemy, or he crossed the line, he did, but Deontay did the video. The interview. And in his video, when he said, every time Deontay Wilder says something, people misconstrue what he says. What the hell does anybody misconstrue what he says? Like when he said, you got to have patience, and we laughed at it for him saying that shit because it made no sense. He didn't misconstrue. The man said you have to have patience. What are you talking about? People no. The only people who misconstrue shit are you guys who do all of this fucking babysitting for him and act like he needs you guys to do that. Deontay doesn't need people to play babysitter for him. As far as him being choosy with who he speaks to, he hasn't spoken to any of these fucking channels. So even to speak to him on the phone, he's not sitting down doing a fucking interview with you. He's not sitting here saying, okay, because that's the case. If he was doing an interview, he wouldn't care that you repeat what he said. He would want you to do that if that was the case. But to pick up the fucking phone, okay, COVID has nothing to do with it. To pick up the phone, do a phone interview. Pick up the phone and say, hey, man, this is this, that, yada, yada. Let me speak for myself. No. Like I said, Deontay's not focused on this shit right here, man. The rest of these channels are, but he's not. So when I'm saying Deontay Wilder said blase blah, I'm saying it because I heard him say it. Okay? Just like when somebody says, like when somebody says, they make a claim about anybody. If I didn't hear it myself, I'm saying according to such and such. I'm all the way honest with y'all. I sat here and said I didn't see the Lance Pugmire video or tweet or whatever it was, so I'm looking for that and whatever. Okay, but I read it. Barbershop Conversations had a screenshot of it up on their video right at the very, very beginning. I didn't want to watch the whole interview video. I just wanted to get that shot and read what exactly Lance Pugmire said. Now, I don't know how in the fuck you can get a fucking 30-minute video out of a fucking couple of paragraphs or a fucking paragraph. Like the dude didn't say much at all. But he said the rest of the conversation, the rest of the, more information to be up on that, whatever I said, he said it was on. I still have it here. But anyway, yeah, just the simple fact, man. For somebody to sit here and tell you guys, and if you've been watching my videos, I've said from day one, the excuses, other channels have said the same thing. The excuses that he came up with was leg complications. I had leg complications before I came to the ring. The costume was too heavy. The costume was too heavy. My 45-pound costume was too heavy. Okay? And it weakened my legs. So what in the hell do you mean when you say, oh, he never said that? What you mean he never said that? And then your sheep sitting there going, bah, bah, bah. Translation, it's true. He never said that. Yeah, he said that shit, man. Yeah, he said it. And like I said, even if Lance Pugmire is right or wrong, it doesn't make a fucking difference, to be honest with you. As long as Deontay is healthy, mentally and physically, like I said before, when it comes time for a fight, and just in his day-to-day life, period. And hey, what is therapy for the mind, man? Get out and do some things that make you happy. Like I said, so maybe all those things we see him doing, maybe that's part of his therapy. I said he's not talking about boxing, period. Way before this whole Lance Pugmire situation even came up. So everything that we're hearing and seeing right now, it's like, yeah, we don't know why he's doing that, right? I have my ideas of as to why I think he's doing that. So even when Blue Blood says, I spoke to, Wilder a couple of times, right? When you're friends with somebody, you like, yo, that's my man. We talk all the time, and I'm not going to talk about everything, but what he did tell me, and you can say something in regards to the fight, like he did, like he wants to take that third fight or this and that, yada yada. But again, bro, you guys are not friends. You have access to him, so he tells you what he wants you to know, and you never said nothing. He never said anything about he addressed this. See, that's my whole thing. If I was sitting in a room with Blue Blood and Deontay right now, and they start talking about the third fight and this and this and this and that, and I would say, okay, yeah, hold up, fuck all that. Deontay, what's with this whole Glovegate bullshit? What's your stance on that? Because we're hearing this shit from everybody but you. So what's your stance on this whole blue Glovegate and getting hit with a metal object and you having a fucking autopsy and your doctor said that you got with a metal object? So what is your stance on all that? Because we don't need to hear it from nobody but him. Because here's something that's been drug out for so many months now. That, like I said, they're losing their grip with these claims. So now they're trying to focus the attention on something else to make Deontay the victim of, oh, everybody misconstrues what he says. No, that's pure bullshit, man. Deontay Wilder said what he said at the end of that fight. He said it in different interviews, explaining this to people. Stephen A. lost his shit. Okay? Deontay Wilder, that's my man. Me and Deontay Wilder, we're very, that's my brother. I talked to Deontay Wilder off the camera, on the phone. But Deontay, no, what are you talking about? This is the most ridiculous excuse. Deontay, come on, bro. He lost his shit when he heard that excuse. So everybody just misconstrues everything Wilder says, right? You notice everything that comes out of Tyson Fury's mouth is a lie, right? Right? According to even Blue Blood, right? But what did he say? Even Tyson Fury, the Gypsy, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury said, that Deontay Wilder's the hardest puncher of all time. Oh, when he says something good about Wilder, he knows what he's talking about. If he says something bad, he doesn't know what he's talking about. If he says something negative about AJ, Dillian White, anybody else that you don't give two shits about, then he's right. It's like, if people get off the petty shit. See, this is like, I'm so glad I'm not a fan of anybody's. The only thing about not being a fan, and I never will be a fan of anybody's, in any genre of anything. The only thing about it, man, is when you come across a bunch of fans, they don't understand common shit. Real shit. Because they can't think without being biased. So everything that they say is like, oh, well, there's a difference with a fan and a fanboy. Let me say that too also, okay? But you fanboys don't get it. You constantly think that you have to make excuses for somebody when they lost. There's not a fighter on the face of this earth that I like more than Muhammad Ali. You ask me this now, you ask me this again, and I will tell you the same thing. That third fight with Ken Norton, Ali lost. I've been saying that shit since I was a little fucking kid. Ali lost. He did not win that third fight, but they gave it to him. Now, do I feel angry or upset in it? No. Just like when somebody gets robbed. I don't take it personal. It's just fucked up, though. I mean, but hey, you understand what I'm saying? What am I going to slam my drink down for, jump up and, what am I mad for? No. Terry Norris is another dude. I love watching Terry fight. But can I sit here and tell you Terry could beat anybody? No, because he didn't beat everybody. He's had losses. He's had ups and downs in his career. Like everybody had ups and downs in their career. We can talk all this greatest of all time stuff. We can say, speak off our emotions and all. But my thing is, it doesn't get me anywhere. I don't know what it gets everybody else. Maybe people feel like they have some moral victory when they have people agree with them that this guy's this and this and that. I have a life, bro, and I don't spend my days sitting up fantasizing and dreaming about a bunch of grown sweaty ass men and what they do with their life, other than what I see them do in the ring, which is boxing. Man, I wish everybody good health, great wealth, and all positivity. But just because we speak the truth on what we see doesn't mean like people how okay, I just told you there's not a fighter on earth that I like more than Ali or more than a Terry Norris or Roy Jones. But if I could sit here and say what their flaws were, or I don't think that this guy won that fight or whatever, so what? I'm a hater for speaking what I feel about what I saw. When I clearly say there's not a fighter on earth, dead or alive, that I like more than Ali. But I'm telling you, Ali didn't win that third fight against Norton. You guys have this mentality like, if we agreeing with everything you say, then it's not hating. Oh, see, you get it. Yeah, I do get it. You guys are biased as fuck, and I'm not into that. Simple. So anyway, this whole thing about Lance Pugmire, saying what he's going to say, he has a huge platform, this thing is going to grow legs and it's going to become truth. Well, that's exactly what you guys did with this whole Glovegate thing, with this doctor situation, with the poisoned water. And mind you, also, let me say this. I was just about to end this video. Let me say this. Notice what he said in regards to Mark Breland being fired. This is the type of stuff I was going by hearing when it first happened, for throwing in that towel. That's why. Now, you can go on YouTube and look at all your fanboy channels, all the Deontay Wilder supporters who posted videos, okay? Fanboys and non-fanboys. People put up videos saying Mark Breland was fired for poisoning the water, okay, of Deontay Wilder, being an informant for Tyson Fury. And I've even seen, I think it was Casual Boxing, put up a video saying that he was fired, that Mark Breland was fired for taking a $1.5 million payoff to poison the water of Deontay Wilder. Now, where do these stories come from? Where? Only news I heard about Mark Breland being fired, okay, and initially was for throwing in that towel that he was considering, and that's the type of shit that I was hearing and see, like that type of thing. But as far as the poisoned water, that's why when I did the video, I said, if this is true, I don't know, but if this is true or not, but sources that I'm seeing and people that I even knew were saying, yo, this and this and that, but I'm like, nah. So if I'm going to make a video, I have to say, I'm not sure if this is true or not, because I'm not hearing it from the right people, put it like that. Anyway, that's what I'm talking about. So all these allegations and stories, we're still waiting for an answer, man. At the end of the day, it is what it is. That's all I'm going to say on this video. Catch y'all on the next one.